Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, or Sirach chapter 25. This is part 2 of wisdom speaking in first person. In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful before both I am and men: the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and wife that agree together. 3 sorts of men my soul hateth, and I am greatly offended at their life: a poor man that is proud, a rich man that is a liar, and an old adulterer that doeth. If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine age? Oh, how comely a thing in judgment for gray hairs, and for ancient men to know counsel. Oh, how comely is the wisdom of old men, and the understanding and counsel to men of honor. Much experience is the crown of old men, and the fear of I am is their glory. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue: a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Well is him that dwelleth with a wife of understanding, and that hath not slipped with his tongue, and that hath not served a man more unworthy than himself. Well is him that hath found prudence, and he that speaketh in the ears of them that will hear. Oh, how great is he that findeth wisdom! Yet there is none above him that feareth I am. Before the love of I am passed all things for illumination. He that holdeth it, whereto shall he be likened? The fear of I am is the beginning of his love, is the beginning of cleaving unto him. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, and any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Oof, I gotta say that again. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. The wickedness of women changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Oh my goodness, I gotta say that again too, because my soul is quiet and humble, and I know I cannot deal with a woman with a lot of words. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abateth the courage, making an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman will not comfort her husband in distress, making weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Because wisdom knows what she's talking about. And if wisdom can talk about her own gender of spirit, then that just shows you how humble wisdom is. You know what I'm saying? Because wisdom knows, no offense to y'all ladies out there, righteous ladies, but there's way more wicked women than righteous women out here in the world. And it's hard enough to try to find a wife, let alone try to find one now in this wicked world that's full of social media, and you could pick and choose who you want to pick just by swiping your finger. You know what I'm saying? Back in biblical times, a husband that was given a wife was usually given the wife from her father as a gift. So it didn't matter if she wanted to be with that man or not. It wasn't her choice whether she wanted to be with that man. It was up to the father and the husband. You know what I'm saying? But again, I am's laws are not of this world. So when you're worldly, you don't view things like that. But anyway, wisdom knows best. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sister bashing. I'm just letting it be known. Like, even the heavenly hosts know the wickedness of a woman, because you have to understand it goes way back to Adam and Eve. Eve was the one that caused Adam to fall into sin. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Adam that caused Eve, it was Eve. And one more thing about the spiritual wickedness of a woman. If you go back to Genesis chapter 6, the reason why demons are even on this earth to begin with is because of women. If you go back to Genesis 6, it explains the fall of the fallen angels that slept with the women of the world and created monsters in the world, because the monsters were half angelic and half human. So they weren't even supposed to be. So when they died, they became demons. And basically, demons are the seed of fallen angels, if y'all didn't know that. Women, they don't fight physically with a man, and they know that. They know they cannot fight physically with a man. So what they do is they use their mentality, they use their psychological games and manipulations, and they get men by any other means besides physical. And again, in Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verses 24, it reads, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." So only a righteous woman can hear that and be humble enough to accept that her spirit can be corrupted. Just like a man's spirit can be corrupted, but a woman's spirit can be corrupted more easily and more readily. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you got to go back to the spiritual side of Eve. All praise to the power of the Son of Man, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am that I am. Shalom.